Call for one egg, guys. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put her in there. Going to do a little whipping on it. Get that going up there real good. It's very simple. There's not that many ingredients to it. We'll put my flour in there. Call for 1 cup. I'm going to sit here and they just said stir up. What it's going to do is get incorporated. It's more like a egg noodle. And it'll start sticking to it a little bit. Instead of making biscuits and using your lard that way and getting all crumbly, you can see here that it gets crumbly with just the egg in it. What they showed now is you just start adding a little bit of water to it. Before I do that, I'm going to put my seasonings in. I'm going to put me a good half a teaspoon or better, maybe a teaspoon of Mrs. Dash Original. My garlic powder, which if you'll come to realize that I put it in everything. Black pepper, I'm gonna put probably about a 1/4 teaspoon or so in there and start mixing. Get all the spices all mixed together, all the dry ingredients except for that 1 egg there. And you can always add more water, but you can't add too much. It's about 4 or 5 drops at a time, not very much at all. Just stir that in, and you keep stirring until she becomes a ball. And it's going to take a few minutes. Put a little more water in, 4 or 5 drops at a time. Keep stirring. She'll start sticking together a little bit more. Just keep putting a little bit of water every time in. And it'll start rolling up into a ball. It's almost there. You can see it starting to stick together. I'm going to put a little bit more water in here, and I'm going to get rid of the fork and do it the way God intended, and we're going to use our hands, and I'll be right back at you. Okay, YouTube, I got to about the right consistency I want. It's got a little bit of dough on it. She's spongy. I worked it, kneaded it 2 or 3 times. I added a little more flour and a little bit of water until I got to the right consistency I wanted. Here comes the fun part. I'm going to take a little bit of flour. I'm going to put it right here on my kitchen counter. Don't tell the janitor, because he's going to have to clean it up. So we're just going to smash her down a little bit, get her all floured up on both sides. And thanks to a real elderly lady that done with her baking days, her name's Norma. She gave me a rolling pin from Hades. I love this thing. It's working out real good. What I'm going to do is just roll that out until she gets thin enough that we can do some cutting on it with the knife here and make us some dumplings. Need a bigger counter. It's just me in this house. You know how hard it is to cook for one person when you love to cook? Somebody needs to come visit. That way I can cook for them. I don't have that many YouTube people that live around me. A little flour on it. We're sticking. Alright, we're just about ready to go here. Flip that over. Put a little more flour on it. Kind of like making mud pies, if you guys can remember way back when. In my pot here, I done a crock pot chicken last night with Mrs. Dash original seasoning. That's all I put in it. And I don't put water in my chicken when I do it in the crock pot, but I had about, maybe an inch of chicken broth. So with that, I added about 8 more cups. This is a 8-quart pot, and I got about a quart of water and my chicken broth in there. What we're going to do now is find another knife. These don't have to be perfect. All they got to be is the right size that you want. And I'm going to cut these up. They're about 1/4 inch thick. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I know if they're too long and you put them in when the water's not hot, you're going to wind up with Play-Doh. You got to have hot water when you start out. And I'm going to have just about enough dumplings here to make my own. They're maybe 1.5 inches square. Some of them are a little longer, maybe 1 inch by 2 inch. What I'm going to do, I've got my chicken broth going up there. I deboned the chicken last night, and I've got a whole bunch of it right here. And I'm going to crumble up about half of that, put it back in my chicken broth, that way I can have some meat to go with my dumplings here. And when I start putting this together, I'll get right back to you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I brought that broth, and I put me about 1/4 water in there. I put me about a cup of chicken. Not very much out of what I had here. Maybe I had, let's see, that is 16-ounce butter. I put about half of that thing of the chicken in there. We're going to drop these off in there, make sure they don't stick together, and it won't take long for these to get put in here. And as soon as they start floating, if I remember how my mama told me to do it, they're pretty much done. And we'll see how they come out. I'm going to turn them down on I've had that on high, and I'm going to drop it down to about 5 and let her simmer just a little bit. And I hope these turn out, because like I said, we're doing it together, and I haven't done it in 20 years. But I got my spices in there, and we shall see. I'm even going to take the rest of this flour that I had on my counter here, maybe about a tablespoon, a couple of tablespoons, not very much, and I'm going to throw that in there. That way it'll thicken up my broth. We're going to stir these up just a little bit, nice and slow. Let her come back up to a boil, slow boil. I had that on 5. I told you I turned it down. I'm going to kick her back up a little bit because she completely quit boiling when I started that. I'm saying maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I'll let you know for sure when I get back and we start serving how long I cooked them for, and serve them up and let you look at them if it comes out. Like I said, I haven't done this in a long time, but we're going to experiment together. Like I said in the beginning, this is an experiment. I went ahead and put the rest of that chicken in there, so it's going to be about 2 cups of chicken instead of 1. And on a wild hair, I took me some sliced mushrooms, the kind you get in the blue package, and I put them in there, maybe a good handful, and I'm going to finish it up here in a minute and we'll take a look at it. Okay, we're going to serve this up and see what's going on here. Hope it comes out. I know that light up there is killing me. Let's do it this way. A little bit of backlight right there. We've got our dumplings, chicken, mushrooms, real easy made. I hope you guys like it. Tastes pretty good if you ask me, and God bless. I know my video skills are not the best, but I'm trying. Thank you guys. Hope you like it.